Womb healing is nervous system regulation. Welcome to episode 2 of Chaos Makes Magic. I'm so excited to chat with you guys today about this topic because it is so important. And of course, nervous system regulation is such a hot topic right now. And there's more coming out around the women's nervous system and kind of the nuances with that. So, we're going to get into all of that today in this episode. But before that, if you have other women in your life that you think would benefit from this episode, please do share it with them. That is why I am here. I'm here to help. I am here to spread awareness and knowledge and wisdom. And literally just want to help the girlies out. So we're going to get a little bit sciencey and kind of like deep dive into the nervous system. I'll give you guys some basics and then explain the connection to the womb and the connection to our menstrual cycle. And then I'm going to guide you guys through a very simple womb connection at the end that you can do literally whenever, but just as a way to connect deeper to your womb and kind of bring some of that soothing energy to your nervous system. So, to start, think about the nervous system like a gas pedal and a brake. So, your sympathetic nervous system, this is the gas pedal. This is what gets you moving. This is what gets you to be social and really like creative. But when it is overactivated, you end up in fight or flight mode. And then the brake is the parasympathetic nervous system. So this is what slows you down. This is what allows you to go inward and to relax. But when this is underactivated, you feel restless and anxious and unable to relax. So the vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body. I'm sure if you are familiar with the nervous system, you have heard of the vagus nerve, and it travels from your brainstem down through your chest and your abdomen. And in women, the vagus nerve innervates our uterus, so our womb, and then our cervix and our vagina. So it is very deeply connected to our reproductive space. It's the main parasympathetic nerve within our body, which again is responsible for rest and digest and healing. When it is activated, our heart rate slows down, digestion improves, we are able to relax more and really just like sink into relaxation. But unprocessed trauma and chronic stress and early life neglect can suppress the ventral vagal tone, so that can then leave your body in fight or flight. And we're going to connect that to the womb here in a minute. But the vagus nerve is the main pathway through which the body stores emotional and somatic memory. So again, it is very deeply connected to our wombs because our wombs are also a space that stores emotional and somatic memory as well. So the womb is the uterus. This is where we gestate a baby. This is where we shed our lining every single month when we menstruate. And it is very much so a physical space, but it is also an energetic space. And like I said, it is a space that stores processed emotions and traumas, and it has energetic and emotional memory. We hold on to our like deepest and heaviest wounding within our wombs. We hold on to our own trauma and our own imprints from our experiences in this life, but we also hold on to those from our ancestors, from the women that came before us. Our wombs are so deeply connected to our lineage. And we also hold on to past life imprints within our womb as well. You can really like think of the womb as like your own Akashic record, which is so cool, and definitely want to get into that in a future episode. So the vagus nerve innervates our uterus, so our womb, and it also innervates our cervix and vagina, which hold their own energetic and emotional imprints as well. So like honestly, the entire female reproductive space holds on to so much, and each like specific organ has its own unique wisdom and power as well. So because of this connection, these stored experiences and unprocessed emotions, especially like shame, grief, trauma, conditioning around worth, sexuality, femininity, aren't just energetic, but they are directly tied to the tone of your nervous system. So when the womb is holding on to these unresolved traumas and emotions, that sends a signal to your nervous system that you cannot relax, that it is not safe to slow down. And then it leaves you in that like chronic fight or flight or even freeze mode. It can also show up as like being stuck in old patterns, especially in relationships. This is such a huge topic. You can have difficulty processing emotions or feeling a lot of overwhelm or numbness or just like disassociating from your body as a whole. And again, like this just comes down to those unresolved emotions and traumas and like not feeling safe within your body. And that's that connection to your nervous system. So a couple of fun facts that I thought were so cool. So even if a woman's spinal cord is severed, she can still experience uterine and cervical orgasms because of the vagus nerve connection. And during labor, the vagus nerve activation can support pain reduction and oxytocin release, so it can help the body drop into a parasympathetic state to aid in birth flow, which birth is just like, it's so cool and such a big topic that I'm also excited to dive into later. And then the vagus nerve is also known as the wisdom nerve because it connects our brain, heart, gut, and womb. So it's like a communication highway of intuition throughout our bodies. So you can see why it's so important to move through that unresolved trauma and unprocessed emotions within your womb and your entire body as a whole. And that's the thing with womb healing, is it really is full body healing, because once you awaken to the consciousness of your womb, it essentially opens up your entire body. It opens up your awareness to your full body and gets you out of your head so that you can really begin processing all of those things that are going on within you. So the nervous system is very connected to our menstrual cycle as well, and it shifts throughout our cycle, which is so interesting and honestly very reassuring, especially if you find yourself feeling some type of way during different parts of your cycle. But during menstruation, you're parasympathetic dominant and your body naturally wants to slow down. Your energy is dipping. You are meant to slow down and relax during this phase in your cycle. But of course, if you are underactivated in that and really not tending to yourself, then you're going to feel anxious and restless and most likely like in your head wondering what it is you can do, when in reality, you're literally not supposed to be doing anything during menstruation. And then during your follicular phase, after menstruation, your nervous system gradually increases in sympathetic activation. So you begin to feel more energy and alertness. And of course, if this is in a healthy way, it gives you motivation. You feel more motivated to take action on all of the things. But if it is overactivated, you're going to end up in fight or flight and probably not getting much done, which can lead to a lot of frustration because, of course, if you work with your cycle, like your follicular phase and ovulation are the times where like you're getting shit done. But if you are overactivated, if you are not like tending to your nervous system during menstruation, it's probably going to overflow over into your follicular and ovulatory phases. And then you're going to, just kind of be stuck in that paralysis, unable to do things or take action on the things that you want to take action on. So during ovulation too, your sympathetic dominance peaks. So again, that like taking action, being social, more outward focus. And then the same thing here, if it is overactivated, you're going to feel stuck. It's interesting because I had this experience a couple of cycles ago during ovulation where I was experiencing that. I was feeling very stuck and paralyzed and not wanting to be seen. Normally, I'm fine with like getting on TikTok and making videos, being seen, all of that. And I just felt paralyzed. I was like, I do not want to be seen. This feels so horrible right now. Like my whole system just felt like it was shutting down. And I realized that that was probably because I was not tending to myself during my luteal and menstruation. And that overflowed into the rest of my cycle, which is why it is so important to slow down during your luteal phase, during menstruation, and actually listen to your body and work with your cycle. So then during your luteal phase, you begin to kind of descend back into that parasympathetic activation and you become much more sensitive to stress. So the luteal phase is such a big topic for women because it's very complex and it's a phase of our cycle that we absolutely were not like taught about. And it's the longest phase of our cycle as well. But if you find yourself feeling so overwhelmed, if you find yourself just not being able to handle much during your luteal phase and just like anxious, stressed, all of the things, that is a signal from your body to slow down and to tend to yourself because again, during this phase, like you are just so much more sensitive to stress and so much more reactive to that stress response. So it's important to not like force yourself or push yourself to like keep going at the same rate that you were during ovulation. And the luteal phase has an early luteal and a late luteal as well. So it's really important to pay attention to that and continue to just gradually descend as you move through that entire phase. So I was really connecting the dots between endometriosis, PCOS, and our nervous system because right now there are definitely more studies coming out around the connection to trauma for women who have endo, PCOS, even PMDD. And this is just prevalent, especially with womb healing and womb awakening too, is at least what I've seen from my experience and my experience with clients is that endometriosis, PCOS, it is stored trauma. For me personally, my endo journey, I knew that it was so much ancestral trauma living within my womb. Apologies if you guys can hear that truck, but I was just dying to record outside today. But yeah, it was just so much stored trauma within my womb. It was all of the unprocessed emotions from my mom, my grandma, my great grandma, and so on. All of the women who came before me who weren't able to express those things. And it essentially just like built up and was stagnant within my womb. And from my own experiences as well, growing up, of course, we as women are taught, and I talked about this a little bit in episode 1, but we are taught to just not express those heavier emotional currents that move through us. And when we don't do that, it becomes stagnant within our body. After I got off birth control and started to experience symptoms of endometriosis, it was genuinely like the craziest, wildest ride. While I was on birth control, honestly, like fine, kind of numb, I'd say. But afterwards, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at night. My poor fiance, now boyfriend at the time, who was sleeping on the couch so that I could actually just get a full night's sleep. I would wake up to everything. Like it was, I don't know, it was just major nervous system dysregulation, and smallest noises would wake me up. And yeah, I just went through this big journey of really trying to find safety within my body and really began to connect the dots between my womb and my nervous system. With PCOS, I don't have that personally. I do have a good friend who does, so we chat all the time about it, but that is definitely very deeply connected to your nervous system as well, and to stress and cortisol and like not feeling fully safe within your body. And that is like, I would say with endo and PCOS, of course, like doing this womb healing and womb awakening work is so huge because it allows you to connect deeper to that space in your body. It allows you to get insight and wisdom, and it helps you to like learn what it is like to feel safe within your body. And that is the biggest thing with these conditions. And that's not to say that there aren't the physical aspects of all of these different conditions and diseases. There certainly is. But as we all know, we're not being helped in the way that we need to from our medical system, and we're not being helped in like a holistic way as well. There's certainly the physical side, but we also need to focus on the emotional, energetic, and spiritual side and reclaim the sacredness of our entire reproductive space, because while it is a physical space, it is also a very potent energetic space within our bodies. So it's really important to, again, approach these diseases and issues from a holistic perspective. With endo and PCOS too, like there's a lot of like spirals that happen. So the spiral of like feeling shame because your body isn't doing what it needs to because your body hurts, and then that in turn continues to like build up within your womb. And shame is certainly one of the heaviest emotions and feelings that we carry within our womb, and it's just so ingrained into so many of us as women, which is why I again love this womb awakening work and just peeling back the layers of your womb, which honestly, I probably haven't even described womb awakening that well at this point, but womb awakening is essentially awakening to the consciousness of your womb. So your womb essentially has its own consciousness. It is this oracle, it is this guide that you can drop into and tap into and gather insight and wisdom from. And this is something that helped me so much on my endometriosis journey, because the only solutions that I was given from doctors was to get on different like hormone altering medications, either birth control or a medication that would put me into a menopausal state, which I am 28 years old and I do not need to do that. And I have had so much more success in managing my symptoms with endometriosis from working with my womb and awakening to my womb and just following that guidance and like knowing that my body is so intelligent and knows what to do. And again, that's not to say that you shouldn't go seek medical help if you need it, but truly giving this a chance, giving yourself the time to really get to know your womb and awaken to that space truly does help you heal on so many levels. And it'll take you even further than just healing endo or healing PCOS or regulating your nervous system. It will literally throttle you into your fullest power and your most divine path. So overall, your womb, again, is so deeply connected to your nervous system through your vagus nerve, and working with your womb, awakening to your womb, really tending to that space in your body is something that will help you to regulate your nervous system. It'll help you to truly drop into your body and finally feel safe in your body, which is something that like so many women don't feel. It's something that I absolutely went through and continue to do work on for sure, but I have come so far in feeling safe in my body and just like getting to know my body on such a deep and intimate level. And that's why feminine embodiment is so huge right now too. And that's exactly what this is. This is the deepest level of feminine embodiment, working with your womb and working with your cycle. So I'm going to guide you guys into just a womb connection practice. This will be very simple. This is some of the work that I do with clients, just obviously on a much deeper level. But if you are listening to this on the go, just save this part for later because you're going to want to be somewhere where you can just sit or lay down and close your eyes. But if you are at home and ready to do this, then get into a comfortable position, get into your space. And once you are there, just taking a couple of deep breaths, maybe placing your hands over your belly, over your womb. Allowing your inhales to really expand your belly, bringing and pulling them all the way down into your womb, and allowing your exhales to just release for you, letting it go, maybe making them loud and audible. Continuing to really expand on your inhales, allowing your breath to just flow through your womb, through your entire reproductive space. And on your next inhale, I invite you to begin to visualize a liquid light coming in through your nose on the inhales. Just following that liquid light as far down as it'll go, just allowing it to cascade down your body. Taking note of what color it is, knowing that there is no right or wrong. And if you are not visual, just feeling into it again, just allowing it to expand you, allowing it to feel good. And then simply using your exhales to release. Continuing to pull that liquid light deeper and deeper down with every inhale, allowing your whole body to expand, watching as it cascades down your throat, down your chest. Maybe it ripples through your rib cage, flowing around your lungs. And then just releasing with the exhale. Continuing to breathe in and pull that liquid light down even further, letting it move down through your stomach. Watching as it begins to trickle into your womb space. Just taking whatever you need here, moving at whatever pace feels good for you, continuing to just breathe and expand and follow that liquid light. Maybe watching as your womb is like a bowl or a chalice that this liquid light is filling up. Just allowing it to feel nourishing. Continuing again to take what you need, using your inhales to breathe in that liquid light, Following it all the way down as it fills up your womb. And then just releasing anything that needs to go with your exhale. Maybe even watching any stuck or stagnant energy move out with the exhale. Any cloudy energy, any dark energy, whatever comes up for you, just clearing your womb space of this dark cloudiness and inviting in that liquid light and just sticking with that for a few moments here. Again, breathing at a pace that feels good to you, that feels nourishing for you. Just continuing until you feel like your womb is all the way full with that liquid light. And as you do, just feeling into how nourishing that feels, how good it feels to fill up your womb with this beautiful liquid light, knowing that it is healing, that it is nourishing, knowing that it is removing any stuck, stagnant, darker energy. Just taking a few more breaths here, just taking what you need. And whenever you are ready, just coming back to the present moment, coming back to your full body. Just noticing how your system has shifted, noticing how you feel, noticing if you feel more connected to your womb. Maybe that was your first time ever even trying to access that space. Maybe you've done it before. And this practice is so simple, like truly so simple, but so life-changing because it just sinks your awareness back into your womb. It brings your awareness back into the space in your body and sends your breath, your life force energy into your womb, awakening her. And the thing is, so many of us have spent our entire lives completely ignoring our womb and just shutting her down. And like when we bleed and it's painful, we just like want to shove it away. We pop all the Advil and like push on with our day and like hope that it doesn't keep hurting and feel resentment towards it because it hurts. And especially if you are somebody with endo and PCOS, what might hold that resentment towards your womb because it is painful, because it's annoying to deal with, it's debilitating to deal with. And just like reconnecting with the space in your body and providing her with nurturing love and energy and that life force of your breath is already so healing in itself. And then in turn is very healing and regulating for your nervous system as a woman. And really feeling into the pleasure, like the pleasurable feeling of just breathing deeply into your body as a woman. Again, so simple, but so healing for your nervous system, which I didn't touch on this, but it's just coming up now. Our nervous systems as women thrive off of oxytocin, which is the hormone that gets released when we feel that nurturing feeling, when we feel connection and pleasure and just like all of that like juicy goodness of life. And so that's why it's so important to, again, just like truly tend to yourself, and especially in your luteal and menstrual phases, like allowing yourself to do things that feel nurturing and pleasurable for you and just not pushing yourself to do the things that don't feel good. Obviously, there are things that we need to do. There are things we need to get done as women, and that's fine. But don't overcomplicate it. Try to like notice in your head if it's okay. Do I actually need to do this, or is my brain trying to force me into being super productive because I don't feel worthy of rest? And just really exploring that within yourself. So anyways, that was a big tangent, but I hope that that was nourishing for you. Feel free to come back and listen to it anytime that you need. Bamboo's making an appearance. And yeah, wishing you guys all the best. Remember to like, subscribe, share, all the things, especially this episode with all the women in your life, because this is such powerful and potent wisdom that every single woman needs. And I mean that. So thank you guys. Sending you all the love.